Yannick Ariel Bihan. How's it going, bro? Welcome to Permastoked.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you, man.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
you ever been on a podcast before?
I haven't. I was told to be on one. One of my friend, he's a yoga teacher, and
Okay.
that was one. I ended up doing a mini podcast with him out of nowhere in the
Okay.
CBC building.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So, dude, you are like living it up in Toronto then, eh? You're right in the city proper?
Yes.
Nice. And how
Yeah.
long you been there for?
So I've basically when I moved from France, I was always in the beaches neighborhood when
Okay.
I was living in Toronto. So that was like my main hood. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. But now are you more downtown?
So now I'm at on the upper beaches. So I'm on top of the hill, and I actually have the penthouse, so I can see all Woodbine Beach from my view.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yes,
So when the surf is up, you know it's up, eh?
definitely. When it's coming in, like from the east, then yeah, I'm the first one to see the swell.
Oh, wow, you should be forecasting.
That's literally what I've talked about with Larry, and I looked at some cameras because the thing is the camera has to zoom in quite a few kilometers for it to
Oh
actually be
yeah.
visible, and also, but I do have like a way to mount it on the patio back there. So I wish that would be a thing. I just gotta look at the logistic and maybe go a GoFundMe page for webcam for Woodbine Beach.
Nice.
That'd be a thing, yeah.
Yeah, man, right on. Well, hey, we'll keep our eyes open for that.
Mm.
So you and we've been friends on Facebook for a few months now. Never met you before. We never chatted, but we're obviously part of the same Great Lakes surfing circle, and we're both, very active in those communities. So you stand out because I'm seeing posts from you on a daily basis. And basically, a few days ago, I saw your videos regarding New Year's Eve, and you were dancing. I'm thinking, this guy is freaking hilarious. I'm like, this guy has no shame, like he's totally comfortable with himself, put himself out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how I sort of found out about you. And I've seen more of your videos probably around bodyboarding, and then noticed you're always posting pictures of yourself doing art, of yourself tattooing. I mean, I read your Facebook
Yeah.
page, man. It's crazy. It's like, this is what it says: actor, airbrusher, artist, athlete, bodyboarder, cook, designer, freestyler. That's right. I always see you rapping online too. Stuntman,
Yeah.
surfer, tattoo artist, thinker, writer, motivator, poet. Like, holy smokes, man. The list is freaking huge. So, dude,
Yeah.
tell us about yourself, man. I'm fascinated. I want to hear your story.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know where to start. I got a long story. My life is yeah, it's quite a valley
Well,
of
you grew up
events.
in France, right? You're from France originally?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct. So I was raised and born in Paris,
nice.
Paris City, France. For the water, I always learned how to swim really early. My
Mm-hmm.
father was a great swimmer, athlete. He was also a marathon runner for
Wow.
30 years. He has intense cardio, and he taught me how to rollerblade. So I always was into sports, and then I got to experience skimboarding when I
Mm.
was in Brittany when I was around 9, 8. Um, uh, and then until 13, basically, I was skimboarding, and we were doing short break waves, just hitting the ramp and just doing flips, whatever, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the beginning. Yeah, I started there, and then in when I was 15, I moved to Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So um, and then with my cousins are from they lived in Africa most of their
Mm-hmm.
lives. They're white, but they're black in the soul, you know, like
Oh, okay.
they're vibing all the way in there. And one of them lived in 6 countries in Africa at least,
Okay.
and the other I think 3, and they've been bodyboarders like their whole life. And one of my cousin is the second champ. He's silver of France indoor bodyboarding artificial wave.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So you moved to Toronto when you were 15. So it sounds like you've
Yeah.
been there about 20 years then.
Yeah, exactly. It's been like 18 years now.
Wow.
18 years or 19 years. I'm 34.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, 19. And
And is all your family back there?
so my dad, I moved with my dad. He opened an art school called Look Sculpture. It was really
Oh,
famous in the neighborhood of Greenwood and East End. That's how the East End art started, the art of the Danforth. A lot of events started from there. The community was like really big. It was all about being a school that's fully open to the public and the public's views. So it wasn't really, one with a curriculum and, you know,
wow. Yeah.
yeah.
More free spirited.
Yes.
Wow. So you are not a first generation artist and all these things we listed off. You've gotten some of this from your dad and your family, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right on. So is your dad around? Is he a daily inspiration for you or?
So my dad actually just left for retirement. He
Okay.
moved near Vancouver Island now. Um,
Oh,
yes, sir.
nice. So now you got an excuse to go out that way, man, and hit up Tofino.
Yes, yes. I've seen some videos from some friends I met on the beach here,
Yeah.
surfers, and wow, it looks
You'll
beautiful.
love it, man. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
town he moved to out there?
Um, I don't know the town. I just know they're looking for a place, and they're kind of,
Okay.
yeah. So far, it's a bit up in the blue sky, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it are they moving to the island or on the mainland somewhere?
No, they're moving to Spring Island.
Oh, I see. One of those smaller islands. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. But your mom and do you have any siblings over in France?
Yeah, so my mom, my little sister, well, my big sister, but she's my little sister. It's just I have a lot of siblings now that just appeared with my father.
Yeah.
My mom,
Oh.
yeah, yeah, my dad just kept going at it, I guess.
Wow. Round
Yeah, good
two.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have some half brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah. So my mom, all my dad's family is basically in France. So I'm French from that side of the family, the father. And then on my mother's side, I have basically much more, like I have native roots, Italian roots. I have the whole Mediterranean Sea, and then it just goes to far East Asia to Africa. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's magnificent.
Oh, I was guessing you had some sort of maybe South American or Spanish roots as well because of the
Yep.
Torres, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
dude.
So
So,
that's actually it's the so I have Italian background, and then the Italian background splits into the Iberian region, which is
mhm.
Portugal. And I actually have some friends that are named Torres, and I also have some friends that are named Torres from South America. And
Yeah.
Torres are like, there's famous pro skaters named Torres. There's a lot of really famous athletes in the world named Torres, and yeah, and then there's different family. There's the Ramirez, but that's all the same family.
Wow.
Huge amount of people in Latin America, and people have kids because it's a beautiful life out there. So
Yeah. Wow, man. You're like a cornucopia of culture.
yes,
So, what languages do you speak?
French. Je parle français. I speak English from Toronto. I actually learned English in Toronto, so I was completely oblivious to the whole language.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
came
know.
to Canada just francophone, not speaking English. Wow.
Yes.
And what was your first thing you did when you got to Toronto? Did you go to school or something?
Yeah, so I got to an amazing French school
Oh,
downtown
okay.
by Young and College.
Oh, okay.
Collège Français.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of eased you into the Toronto life then.
Yes.
You could still speak French. And so how did you learn English? Did you take some courses or just watch TV or listen to people? How did that work?
That's the first thing I wanted to say because I find it hilarious. I got to the principal's office and Monsieur Ibrahim was hilarious. He just like, I hope I don't put him on the spot, but that man was just like so awesome. And the principal was like awesome. I think he was Quebec French and
Okay.
Ibrahim was more like African French. And yeah, and then he said like the first thing you're gonna learn is swear words. Don't worry, it's okay if you do because we get it. You can replace the F word with anything and it works.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, my mom's side of my family is French, and so my grandfather,
Really?
yeah, he would swear a lot. My mom's side, they're called the Rive family.
Oh, les
And
rivets, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he would, I always found it interesting how French, the way to swear is to basically insult the church. So
Yeah.
he'd be like, tabernacle, Christ, these.
Yeah, Chris de Calais, Dustin de Caline de Bean.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah, the
it's-
English language has some colorful words though as well.
Yes, it's beautiful. Like it's funny to see and as I moved from France, it was amazing because I heard of Quebec people from the radio stations. Unfortunately, I guess they used to make fun of Quebec French people because of their accent, and especially the ones really far out in the country.
Yeah.
So they used
I
to
don't
do
know
prank
if
calls
that's
on them.
stopped. There's always a bit of a divide there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I went there, I lived there, and I love Montreal. I haven't been to Quebec City, but I lived in Montreal, and I've even surfed the Habitat 67, and which is it's the Saint Laurent
Is that the
River
river wave there? Yeah.
It's
amazing.
Intense.
Yeah.
Like as a first time, I was like, everything he told me happened, and even the things I don't want to happen happened almost. So I was like, wow.
So what was that sensation like riding a river wave compared to a regular ocean or lake wave?
So basically, like riding the Saint Laurent was I thought of it as the skater wave that I've had in France, in Bordeaux, with my cousin at the Wave Cafe. And so basically, I was like, yeah, like it's just you got to paddle fast. And then they said you have to catch up with the wave. And then I was like, wow, it's like big waves. You have to go really fast to catch them. And then I start going, and you see the current just takes you away slowly, and it's like, yeah, it's slow at the beginning, but it accelerates. And I'm like, okay. And then I have this in my mind, and I'm paddling, and he's like, make sure you direct yourself towards the wave. So you're like, position yourself where that like little pit is. And then the wave was not really breaking at the top. It was kind of like round like this, but it was pretty big. Like, so it went, and then within 5 meters, it was really, really fast. Like I was basically here, and I could feel the scoop, and I just went, whoom. And then all of a sudden I'm paddling, and I feel like this.
You're being sucked backwards.
Oh my God. And I got sent, like, and I was like, yeah. No. And I was like leaning, I was like eating the water as I was going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was tough, but yeah.
So did you start surfing before you came to Canada? Were you surfing in the ocean somewhere in Europe or?
Yeah, so my cousins, we used to meet with my family, my Celtic family. So my father's family is they're rooted in the same part of France for like the past millenniums.
Wow.
So they lived there forever. And then before that, there was a split with some Vikings. And then it was the roots of the Celtics that actually come from the Sahara. So I've heard. So I have some Arabic Saudite, and that might be where some of the Celtics actually live. So I heard. So basically, we met there, and then we would spend like all the summers in Brittany. So that's where we would surf. There's a spot called Boutrouille, and they have a lot of like it's like small waves from the sea. But when it comes in, it comes from like Scotland, and So the waves are coming from, I think they call it the sleeve. What is it? La Manche. We call it La Manche. It's the sea between Great Britain and France.
Okay.
And it's kind of like it's between the Atlantic Ocean, and then uh, the sea, the big sea that's like in between England, Ireland, and all of that, and then
Mm.
the Netherlands and all of that. Yeah. So those big swell would come in, and then with my cousin, he always had bodyboards from Africa, and then they left the bodyboards here. They were like these cool kids, and then they're like, "Yeah, come with us. We're gonna teach you." And so then, like, since we were babies, basically, like, and when they weren't there and I couldn't get a board, like I remember I was like 4 years old and I was bodyboarding on like a pink plastic surfboard with two handles
Mm.
that was like filled up with air, and then I
Yeah.
would take the shore break with it, and just like the wave was like like a barrel for me at that age.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
and then it just like pound me on the sand with like teeny tiny gravels, and then I would just be like, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
So
you and
yeah,
I've had that very similar experience. I remember being a child so small that
yeah,
the wave picked me up, slammed me on the ground, and then I just remember being belted with all these little stone pellets.
yes,
And rather than be like, "Oh, mommy, get me out of here," was like, "Whoa, that was awesome."
yes, exactly.
Like you're stoked and you don't even know what it is. Like you're too young to really put it together. But yeah, that was the beginning of my love affair with the water. Sounds like the similar story with you.
Yeah, it's a feeling that's undescribable. And as a little kid, because of my family, you have to understand, the Celtic people, they take pride in cold water. Just like
Okay.
Wim Hof, there's this
Oh yeah.
culture where we really get into cold water, like 9 degrees water,
Wow.
and we will just swim in 9 degrees water, and the whole family will go. The grandfather, the wife, the grandmother, like everybody, the uncles, the grand uncles, they're fishermen. So I went fishing since I was a kid. Like it's like the sea. Whenever I went there, like everybody knew my name. The person that owns the camping knows my name since I was a little tiny kid. I was buying candies like at the lighthouse. It's yeah, it's like a beautiful place. You should check it out.
Well, you know, everybody talks about the home country, the motherland, like it's so incredible, but yet, you know, you're over here. So do you ever miss it, or does Canada just have that something else that keeps you here that you really love as well?
So, anyways, I just wanted to say, like, Kerlouan is the place you should Google if you guys want
Okay.
to Google like beautiful place, and you will see a house in the stones, and then there's a lighthouse is Brignogan, and
Okay.
this is my hood.
Okay. I might need you to email that to me later, spelled out, and I can put it in the show notes.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, it's funny you say that question because so COVID happened this year, and
Mm,
I was to the disadvantage to not be able to really like go to France, and I wasn't sure if I was going to come back, and then there's responsibilities here and there. So
yeah. So
um,
normally would you travel there for a visit or something?
exactly,
Yeah,
every
okay.
summer I go to France, and I usually do like a little tour or something. I see all my family, my friends from childhood that is still kicking around and having a beautiful life. And so they live in those places, and I really want to just experience some of those cities in France. Like I went to Marseille. I know there's no
Mm,
surf, but I experienced the biggest artificial wave in the world.
really?
Yeah, it
Wow.
was like literally like that face. It was like it was like I have to post the video. It just reminded me. But basically, so I took a bodyboard, and I wasn't good at stand up surfing back then still. So, and I've been bodyboarding since I was like 11, like 10 with my cousins until
Yeah.
like 14. And then I kind of stopped as soon as I went to Canada. But then I went to Monteux. It's Monteux, and it's a water park, and they have a tubing wave
Mm,
that's 3 meters tall,
oh,
the
okay.
tube. Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. So you're hitting the big waves, the artificial big waves.
Yeah, I got a chance to do that, and one of my friend Lionel from Bordeaux, he's the French champ of artificial wave on
Yeah,
bodyboards.
yeah.
So he does like rolos, like he did like 2 rolos, which is 2 spins on your own body, like up in
Mm,
the air at that height. And I was like, and I
wow.
saw the wave, I saw the top, and I was like, no, no. I saw the power, like you feel like your jewelries are just getting smashed by little bubbles of water that just are
Yeah.
coming at you at 40K an hour. Like it's really fast. Yeah.
And when you fall, I'm going to assume it hurts. You're falling on plastic or something, aren't you? It's not like falling in the ocean.
No, no. Well, the ocean can be quite savage too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I know what you mean. It's like artificial, and you just see that thing like on the landing, and you know it's there, and
Yeah.
and then there's so basically it's like and I was telling to Surf Ontario, about the wave pool, like
Mhm.
how like it functions and all that, because I've seen many of them, and it's beautiful. But yeah, so it's like a mat, right? Like a vinyl, and then you have foam underneath it.
Oh, okay.
So there's this, and then on the landing, so it's kind of like it's oriented like this. It goes like this, and then it opens up, so the barrel shapes up like really big, and
Okay.
then when it just throws the water, it just goes like that, and then it does the full circle.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
then on the landing here, you have like a little like area like this, and then it's
Yeah.
just mats, like swimming pool
Oh,
mats.
off to the side. Yeah.
And so I went, and then I asked to power up the wave, because I was like, no, guys, I want the tube. And, I'm a bodyboarder, so I want to
Yeah.
experience that. And so they crank it up to power 5, which
Okay.
is the most they went that day is power 7.
Okay.
And the guys were doing airs from the States. Some guys from California were
Mm.
there, and they were doing 180 airs off the tube.
Wow.
And I was like, and the thing is, as I mentioned on the bodyboard, like it actually hurts. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a bit warriorish.
Hard
And
on the ribs. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, the ribs, I guess now they're kind of used to it, but yeah, mostly what's off the board, right?
Yeah.
And then, basically, when I went in the tube, I was in the tube, and then all of a sudden, I was trying to go up and down, and as I went up and down to try to pump the wave, go to the front, do something, a cutback or something, then somehow a spit came, and then boom, I got tossed on the top of the wave over the
Wow.
falls. I landed, and I remember seeing everything twice. So I did two backflips, I think,
Whoa.
and then I landed sideways like this. And I remember at one point going like this, and then seeing my finger getting stuck on the mat,
Oh no.
seeing the mat with the ridge like this, and then my finger, and then I'm like, and I took out the finger, and then I got smashed at the end of a wall, and I was like, wow,
Wow.
that was so cool.
That's intense. Yeah. So you got sucked right into this thing and it pulled you right over the lip and threw you back down.
Yeah, right on the mat.
Wow.
But it was actually not painful. Like I have no idea. I think it's the way they built the landing, so it must be softened out.
Yeah.
Because I think the barrel goes like this, and then it kind of gets, so it's big at the beginning, and then it gets tighter as like you go over the falls.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a way where it's like it lands on something soft. Yeah.
Okay. You think we'll ever see one of these things in Toronto?
I am praying every day.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yes.
So I was out on the weekend on a hike by a
Mhm.
river here in Owen Sound, and
Yeah.
I found this river. I wasn't aware of that it really picks up the speed. And I was finding some spots where it kind of dipped in and it was creating like a little miniature standing wave. So I
Mhm.
sent the videos off to my friend there in Alberta, Jacob Kelly Quinlan, the man behind the river wave scene. And
Nice.
so he was saying, yeah, there's some potential there. So I think it would be great to develop some of those too, because it's already there. It's just natural, right?
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
less infrastructure. You don't have to build all these different things, and it just brings people to the area. So we'll
Yeah,
see. That's my dream one day, to see some more of those river waves in this area, that we can access some surf.
100%.
Yeah,
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 no, that's a really
absolutely.
good point. There's some in the GTA. I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, okay.
Um, I know there's one, and I've seen it. It's really small. It looks like barely you can. And they told me it's like you're on the wave, but you're bored. You just gotta really point it out, but still be still in the right spot so you can still stay
Ah,
on it. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, man, don't blow those spots. Wow, that's what people are getting really upset about these days.
yeah, it's like I mean, the thing is, I understand. I guess there is sometimes like some competitive spirit in the water,
Hmm.
and it does happen when people are waiting and waiting, and they just want to get that wave, and you can feel everybody like, I'm gonna get it no matter what, and
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
just there's that spirit, and you see so many different attitudes, which is
Mm.
beautiful. So there's a bit of that, and then there's the people that go, there's the people that don't know, there's the people that go tell you, there's the people that um, uh, go don't tell you, and then
Yeah,
there's a lot of different, and then there's the people that you want to communicate with that are right there, and then you make buddies,
yeah.
and you make like crazy friends, and like the community is tight, like it's so amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's nice that you look at that diversity as amazing, because some people it would just piss them off. So it's good that you can see through that and understand where people are coming from, I guess.
Yeah, I have some friends that write a little bit like this, and uh, I get it. It's like I've surfed in Lacano, and I've screamed at a German guy, and I told him like, "Get off my wave!"
Okay.
when I was on my wave, because
Yeah.
that wave was 7 meters tall face, and it
Wow.
was just like it was a wall of water that was just like, and that was the wedge, like just it was like two big waves, I guess, from the ocean
Okay.
Atlantic that went like this. And
Yeah.
I ended up being right in front of it. And then this guy was at the top. He was thinking about the
Ooh.
peak. And I was like, no, because you're committed, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think there's this beautiful thing that when you let people have their own wave, and that's the true magic of it. And that's the reason why I will let somebody have a good wave, especially if I see they have it. The reason is because there might be a beautiful one afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
And if we both go, then we might not get the one after. So
No. The father of surfing, Duke Kahanamoku, said, one wave comes and then another one comes right after. So if you miss it, there's plenty more. There's some for everybody. So it's nothing to get all bent out of shape about. Um, yeah, man. So when you came to Toronto, did you think that surfing was over, or did you hear the whisperings of the lake surfing scene?
nothing. I literally,
No?
I got to Toronto. I was probably like, I mean, I don't know. Nowadays with the media coverage
Yeah.
surfers have on the lakes is different. But when I got there, I remember there was a stormy afternoon. I was probably like 16, and then I saw some waves, and I came out of the swimming pool where we used to do like diving competitions, like diving off 5 meters and stuff like this with some friends when I was 13 and over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got out of the swimming pool, and I saw some waves, and I was exhausted, right? But then I got out, and you're young. I just took out all my clothes. I left them right on the boardwalk, and I just ran and dived right into a wave. And I was like, oh my God, there's waves. I love this place. And ever since, I was like, I always want to stay in this neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this was when you were younger and you were visiting Toronto?
Yeah. So I started visiting when I was 13.
Oh,
And
okay.
I started playing hockey like insanely with Maple Leaf professional from like 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Fred. And then basically, I was always at Queens. I think he was Maple Leafs at least, but he said he was a pro, and he's a pro. You could
Yeah,
tell.
yeah,
Like this stuff you don't make up. When you see real skills, it's like, yeah, okay.
yeah.
So yeah, we did hockey, and then I wanted to go in the summer, so then I was always at the Woodbine swimming pool,
Mm,
enjoying. I
nice.
didn't really go in the lake. The only day I went in the lake was when there was that wave. Yeah.
All right on. I lived in Toronto from about 2005 to 2007. It's too bad we didn't know about each other back then. I think I was hardly using Facebook at the time. I'm not even sure if we really had Facebook then, but
No, I didn't. No.
yeah, yeah, I'm not, I don't quite recall, but yeah, when I was living in Toronto, and I came from, Lake Erie. I
Really
Yeah,
nice.
I didn't know there was a Toronto surfing scene really, and then I found out about Mike Sandusky, so I did know there was a handful of people, but it
Wow.
certainly wasn't, what it is now with, multiple shops and all these Facebook groups and different things. The community has exploded. So it seems like you're a pretty probably a pretty well-known figure in that community, really enjoy it, get along with people, like
The thing is, like I guess yeah, like when the thing about surfing is that I started surfing in the winter,
yeah,
and I started surfing in the winter as soon as I moved back in my neighborhood, because I lived in the West End for a little bit. I was
okay,
painting a whole building with spray paint and ropes from a construction site, and I basically hanged off the building and painted his whole building to
wow,
live with this hippie for free.
nice,
Like a motorcycle guy, and it was kind of my dream to do that. So I achieved it, and then I wanted to find a beautiful wife and a beautiful place. So I found a wife, I found a place, and I moved in the perfect apartment that I wanted, in the penthouse, and then I saw the waves in the winter, and a year later, I basically I looked into like water sports because I saw kite surfing guys
yeah,
videos, and then I was like, oh, you can actually go in the cold water, and I saw the waves in the winter from my building, and I
hmm,
could see like like white foam, like
yeah,
5 meter of white foam, and I could see like a black hole, and I was like, is there barrels at Woodbine Beach?
wow,
And that's when like I was like, okay, like this is getting serious. Like
yeah,
I cannot let this opportunity go. So I bought a heavy wetsuit.
hmm,
Uh, I finally found this amazing like bodyboard,
okay,
and that's what I knew how to do. So I went once, and then once. Basically, what I was getting at is that once you go in cold water and you realize how lonely you are in the cold water, you want to attach on to anyone you see around at
oh,
like the
yeah,
port, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, emotional support, go surfing in the winter. Yeah,
Yes.
it's an immediate bond, isn't it? You're right.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to meet people in the winter surf than it is out on a sunny day in the summer or something.
Yeah, yeah, all depending, right? But it's true
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're like, oh my God, you're doing this too? Like,
Yeah, like
whoa, what's your
yeah,
name, bro? Like, you're crazy
yeah.
like me?
Yeah, exactly. We're both crazy.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So dude, the art thing, like so you mentioned your dad is an artist,
Hmm.
and here you are hanging off buildings at a pretty young age painting.
Yeah.
So, walk me through that journey a little bit, and how did you get skilled at, tattooing and airbrushing and whatever else it is you do? You probably do some regular painting, I'm sure.
So, how to put this? There's so many steps that brought me there. Um, and there's multiple people.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, uh, I had the taste for art since I was a kid, and
Hmm.
whether it was a jokingly thing that I would do, I always drew. I used to
Hmm.
draw stick figures. I was terrified of the war when I was a kid, so I used to do therapy for myself and sketch war zones,
Mm.
and And then afterwards, yeah, like just like soldiers attacking each other. And then I was fascinated by it. And then fast forward, let's go back. When I was a baby, I did graffiti with lipstick. I
Okay.
painted all the wall with a Chanel lipstick from my mother from Paris.
Oh, nice. I
When we
bet
lived
she
at Rue
loved
Blanche.
that.
Yeah, by the red mill of Paris, Le Moulin Rouge. Yeah.
Mm.
So, and then afterwards, because we were at the sea all the time, and my grandfather always brought me to Bretagne,
Mhm.
my grandfather Joseph. So what happened is that he's a famous painter, and he started painting, and he was also helped out by my mother, who helped me to do my first color painting, and uh, and and also helped me do my first crayon color drawing. So
Mm.
basically, it was an illustration for prehistoric times. That was the crayon drawing when I was like, I think 6 or 7. At 9, I did my first impressionism painting. It was of a pear and an apple and a pot.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, it was in 1999. And then I did another painting. Was like kind of like a Monet painting. Um, and then this one, and then afterwards, I did waves with my grandfather, because my
Okay.
grandfather is from the sea. He became an artist. By that time, he was like really good. He was doing exhibitions,
Mm.
still learning. My mother and my father met in the Beaux-Arts in California.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just like in the blood. And my
Yeah.
grandmother used to do art for the market in Brittany, for all those Celtic cooks and beautiful
Yeah.
people. And yeah, so
So art was running through your blood. Man, I'm really I like hearing you talk about your heritage, and that you're really connected and plugged into that. I'm a little jealous of that. My
yeah.
heritage is quite a mystery to me.
If you can learn more about your heritage, the reason why I do is because my grandfather did a genealogical tree of near 2,000 years back.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty much impossible,
Yeah.
because and he went past the French Revolution. So he went like past a millennium, and 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 at the French Revolution we had two families separate. Um, but also I did the DNA test,
Yeah.
and that's how I was able to know about all the different routes.
Oh, okay.
And my mom told me about a lot of them, and because she's a beautiful soul that talks so much. Sometimes I feel like maybe there's some stuff added on,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
was actually true. And then I'm like, wow,
Wow.
that's even better. Like,
Yeah. It really is. It just kind of solidifies what you were already thinking. I also
100%.
want to do one of those
Do it.
genealogy tests sometime. That would be
It's
cool.
so worth it.
I think it's a tragedy that so many of us don't know more about our heritage. I mean, when you think about it, is it really that hard to, keep a journal, people, or keep a list and hand it down to the next generation? I mean,
Mhm.
it's a tragedy that we don't keep better track of those things. I mean, think of all the things someone does in their life and all the pieces of paper they write on and everything like this, and yet we lose. So many of us have lost that ability to track down even past your great grandparents.
Yeah.
Is about as far as a lot of people can go.
Yeah, because that's well. So he looks into the mayor's records. So like
Mm,
the each vicinity should have records of all the weddings. So
okay.
basically, when they do a wedding or there's a certificate of birth, that's how you would be able to trace it down.
Oh, okay.
And so he's traced down, like you should have seen the genealogical tree. He had to do it by computer because it was getting so big.
Wow.
Like he had
Yeah.
a piece of paper that he had to roll out, and it was like the size of a wall. And I was like,
Yeah.
and it's written like this. Like you're like, what in the world is happening? Like,
Hmm.
but seeing that, and yeah,
So
he had a lot of determination.
speaking of marriage, you brought up the fact that you moved to Toronto, you wanted the big, nice penthouse apartment, and you wanted a wife, and you found both of them. I
Yeah,
see you sitting in the penthouse apartment.
yeah.
Where is your wife?
She's making sure that she's quiet.
Oh, okay, okay, I got you.
I told
So,
her, "Yeah, apparently we gotta be silent in the background. Shh."
okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay. Is
yeah.
she the woman I saw in the New Year's video?
Yes, sir.
I would freaking hope so, man.
Oh my God.
Or else you
Okay,
be in
wait.
trouble.
Yeah. No,
Oh, that's awesome.
that's
So what's
hilarious.
her name?
Laura.
Laura, okay. And is
Yeah.
she a Canadian, all the way, or did she come from somewhere grand as well?
I mean, well, she doesn't know much more of her background past, but she's Aboriginal,
Oh, cool.
native North American, so Canadian,
Very nice.
and she's mixed French and basically native. Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
yeah,
Very cool, man.
yes, sir.
So tell me, you've told me a bit about the art and that, but drawing and painting is very different than tattooing.
Oh yeah,
So eventually you must have got a tattoo gun in your hand.
yeah,
And it looks like you do a pretty good job at it. I mean, you're not just doing stick figures, you're doing the whole shading and everything
yeah.
else. So tell me a little bit about that. How did you get into that and how did you refine your skills?
So, uh, um, well, I started because I was kind of bored of my body and I wanted to decorate it. So
Yeah.
I was an artist and I was doing airbrush because I wanted to stop spray painting because I felt like I was going a little sideways with my life because I was painting too much stuff where I wasn't supposed to,
Mm,
and I was really good at it because I never got caught, but for a really 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 long time. But the thing is, I wanted to settle my life down. So as I came back from Montreal, I kind of, I needed to doze off from the hardcore years
mm,
and of like, trying to be like a old teenager, young adult, and then I was
okay.
like, I want to be an adult, so I need to find what I'm good at. And since I was 14, I was looking for that. I've been looking for literally what is my passion, what is my drive, what is it that I want to do for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
I don't want to study math. I want to just know who I am I a philosopher, am I an adventurer, am I someone who will, I love talking to people, inspiring
Yeah.
people,
I think
changing
you're a bit
people.
of all those things.
I hope so, I sure
Yeah.
hope so. So basically I pushed towards that, and then as I was doing airbrushing, I was like, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna get a tattoo. I got the tattoo from one of my friends shop downtown, and I know a lot of shop owners by now, and they're beautiful souls, beautiful people.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh my god, like it's a little pricey, and I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was eating for 20 bucks a week
Yeah.
at that time because I was an artist. You have to
Mhm.
understand. I the only commission I got was 40 bucks for a T-shirt, and it would cost me um, like, so I would make 20 bucks basically a week, and then that's what I was spending on food, and then I was working in an art store, so I was barely like scratching the crumbs,
Okay.
and then basically uh, I, uh, I got that tattoo. I saw how expensive it was, which was a regular price, I guess, downtown.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, okay, yeah, I need to get a machine. So I asked my friend, like, shop owner, like, hey, where do I get a machine? And then
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's like, oh, just get one there. And then I was like, oh, that's too expensive. So then I found a guy, and then he meets me downtown, and he's like, hey, dude, like, this, like, it's gonna change your life, bro. And he was like so gangster. I
Yeah.
loved it. He was like an actual like, he told me like, "Hey, you don't know you're at my place." Like, I was like, what the hell? I loved it.
Yeah.
It was just out of a movie, like literally,
Yeah.
like a James Bond movie, and I'm meeting this guy that the CIA is looking for, and we are like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I loved it. Like, and then he's
Wanted
like,
tattoo artist.
yeah, and he sold me the shittiest equipment, but it was beautiful because
Okay.
I learned from there. I tattooed myself a lot, and then I did
Hmm.
all the tattoos I wanted on myself. I was like, I might as well just do it myself because I'm
Yeah.
pretty hardcore already. So I dealt a lot with physical pain in my life, like
Mm-hmm.
and you know, traumatic events in my life since I was a kid too. I had a beautiful life, but at the same time, I had, you know, some really hardcore bad stuff that happened too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the endurance to sustain, you know, some physical pain and a certain mental strength,
Mm-hmm.
if I may. So not that I'm, you know, definitely not the strongest guy out there, you know, but, and I'm not trying to prove that or by any means, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like, so I started tattooing myself, and then after this, I'm like showing my friends, and then my friends are like, "Oh my god, can you do one for me?" I'm like, "I suck. Like, don't ask me that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to, you know, like I don't know you. Who's your friend? What? How?"
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, "Oh yeah, they'll give you like you know, some scratch," and then I'm like, "What?" And then I'm just like, and then I remember, and then the first tattoo, I was young. They were young. They were drinking. It was literally the worst tattoo scenario you could ever think of,
Okay.
and I still know them to this day, which
Mm-hmm.
is actually crazy to know that. And and they don't regret anything. And you know, a lot of the people, I, you know, they were well aware of my situation. And then slowly I built up, and I turned my realism from airbrushing,
Mm-hmm.
that I picked up from working at my dad's school, with some of the most amazing teachers in Toronto and in Ontario and in the world. I got a chance to learn with Lester, with Gary Smith, gold medalist of Musée du Louvre, Paris, world medal for like soft pastel. So he was like a great teacher for realism portraits. Later on, I got to do something with Atanar Dogan. He was on National Geographic for
Mm.
his watercolor. I think he's a world renowned, but I don't know if he's got any medals or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's a great guy, and yeah, so I got to learn with a lot of these people, and then I applied those skills. But I knew that the tattoo was not the same, so I definitely was really humble. Did a lot of line work
Mm-hmm.
for a really long time. Did a lot of simple work for a really long time, and it's only maybe half a destiny or like half a dozen years later that I really dived into realism. I went to work in some shops downtown, and in the neighborhood, and then I got to be around some really talented artists worldwide, and I um, I learned some skills that are just like out of this world, and I also learned it on myself. So I had a true sense of what the needle feels like,
Mm-hmm.
and I took pride in tattooing myself as much as I would tattoo people. So I would
Yeah.
not like stay a year without a tattoo on myself.
So you must start somewhere that's easy to reach, I take it, like the legs or the calf or something like that, maybe the forearm.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I did a tattoo on my lower hip.
Okay.
So I was a really spiritual guy. So I got I got this symbol,
Okay.
which is present in a book. I was doing a lot of meditation and yoga and
Mm.
deep breathing, kung fu, tai chi, Shaolin bow staff. I used to take pride in the spiritualism,
Mm-hmm.
like way beyond. And I starved myself and did a lot of crazy things. So for me, those symbols meant a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted that to be on my body as
Mm-hmm.
a reminder that
Yeah.
this is who you are. And whenever I look at myself, whether I look good or bad, hopefully good,
Yeah. Yeah.
then then you know, hey, like you are that person, and you
Yeah.
went through that stage in your life. You
Yeah.
changed your life around. Look at who you are. This is who you are. You have the
Yeah.
eye of Dharma now. You can
Yeah.
look for truth in reality,
Mm-hmm.
and then just having that as a reminder. And then I got a soul tattoo, Kenji, on my hip, which I added a star, representing that my soul was attached to the stars. So you know, I'm a
Nice.
little space sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's the fun
all
of
good.
that's the fun of tattoos though. Yeah, similarly, I got this on my wrist. This is the type of the yoga I perform and teach. This
Very
is
good.
from that lineage. So that says Satnam in Punjabi, which means true self. So
Yeah.
very similar. You know, you look at that and it's just like a reminder to kind of get your head straight when your head
Yes.
isn't straight, you know. So I feel you there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something like, if you have this possibility in your life to do um, some, and it's funny because sometimes it's a little bit doubt upon, like people will doubt upon this idea, if I may say so. But soul searching is really important, and
Hmm.
the reason of soul searching is knowing your true core, knowing your true self, your true personality, the
Hmm.
gift that made you the fruit that you are, and from which tree you come from. um, the thing is, it's very easy to be stuck in a 9 to 5. It's almost easy in the fact that, like, I did 9 to 5. I did even 5 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Construction works is pretty simple. Is find out what you love. Once
Hmm.
you know what you love it. There's something you can do, like while you're sleeping. Well, ooh, look at all these beads. I
Yeah.
just broke my necklace. That is
Oh,
beautiful.
is that a mala necklace?
That's actually, these are from Tibet, and so
Nice.
are are they from Afghanistan? And then those are from Nepal, Tibet. I
Okay.
got them from a Tibetan refugee
Right on.
in the streets. And yeah, so basically, I'll collect them after. It's an old binding. This is hilarious. um, and beautiful pearls, and they're real.
Yeah, they're very
Uh,
nice.
yeah, I have one on my foot.
Mm.
Beneath my flip flop. Okay.
They're everywhere in all the crevices.
Yes, sir. So basically, I love it. So find out what you love,
Yeah.
like, and I mean love in the sense that you're comfortable doing it, and uh, and your passions, what the things that you can do, and um, and then once you have that, experiment in different fields that are attached to that,
Hmm.
because not all fields are easy, or maybe you're not as good as a businessman in one field than the other. So that's what happened to me with airbrushing. Like, I felt like I was good at airbrushing, but I might not be the man that would airbrush uh, only for the rest of his life.
Mm.
I felt like there was something else I needed to keep digging. So I kept on. And then before that, I was doing spray painting, and I was doing spray paint murals and skate parks in the streets, and um, beep, beep, beep in a lot of places. And then basically, after a while, I was like, okay, well, I spent $10,000 like in 3 years on spray paints, and I'm barely scratching the surface. I barely have any food in my fridge. And that's when, I left, and I turned into like basically a yogi
Hmm.
for 2 years, which is not the 3 years concept from real yogis. So
Mm.
definitely not there, but I did my little journey. And then when I did my journey, I learned that it was okay to suffer,
Mm.
because become more sensitive. When you're more
Mm.
spiritual, you become more sensitive, and you pick up on people's energy. You pick up on everything. Your third eye is wide open. Like, your
Mm.
soul can float. You can. There's beautiful things you can do if you really really get deep in the
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
Hmm.
So I passed from that to that, and then as I saw that certain things were making a little scratch here and there, I kept on doing them, and then eventually it added up. And I always believe, little by little you become less little.
Mm.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, it just takes little steps each time to get a little higher. That's all.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what you're saying, man, it resonates. I think it's true.
Yep.
So hey, the tattooing. Oh, I'll show you this tattoo of mine. This is
Sure.
these are
I saw that.
my fish scales
Yes, sir.
to remind me, that I belong in the water.
I love it.
And then my friend who did this tattoo, his name is Mayo Landicho. and he lives in Vancouver, and he trained, with the tattoo gun and everything, but he actually went to his homeland in Philippines, and he went
Yes.
up in the mountains, and I forget the name of the lady right now, but she's like the oldest tattoo artist in the world, and she does the hand
Yeah.
tapping.
I have a few friends that met her. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I
so
was
he
like,
did that. Yeah,
wow.
there's a CBC special about him going up
She
to the
doesn't tattoo
mountain.
anymore. It's done. Now it's her daughter.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
several women, I heard. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, he got blessed by her, and she passed down the
wow.
craft to him. So actually, 4 of these skills he did in the hand tapping method. So that was really cool, and we did kind of like a bit of a spiritual ceremony beforehand, and
Wow.
it was very unique. It was amazing because when I sought him out as a tattoo artist, I was blown away by this guy because
Yeah.
prior, my experience with tattoos, and I'm sure a lot of people can identify with this, is you go into some place and it's like, no offense to bikers and Harley Davidson guys,
Mhm.
but it's like a bunch of bikers and Harley Davidson guys, and you're kind of uncomfortable because it's just not the world you come from. And it's like, what the hell am I doing here? And
Yeah.
so I've been under the tattoo gun a couple times, and you know, this one time, for example, the guy's drinking beer, and then he's telling me, his creative direction, and it's not lining up with what I thought. And in fact, he left some marks that I think I'm going to come visit you someday to
Oh
see if
yeah,
you
some
can
cover up.
maybe do some cover up. Um, I've had other experiences where, you go to the tattoo artist, he says, oh, it's going to take a couple hours. Then a few hours later, he's nowhere near being done, tells
Mm.
you to come back some other day. So then he's just raking up the cost.
Oh yeah.
And then you go back for the tattoo on the follow up. The guy doesn't show up. It's like they live this sort of rock and roll lifestyle because there's
Yeah.
not many people doing it. So they can actually screw off and, play around with you like that.
I hear a lot of stories like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely some bad experiences, and it's hard to find someone that you really can trust. And it's expensive. Like you said, I
Yeah.
remember the first tattoo I had, it was probably back then, it was like $80 an hour. Then I remember it
Yeah.
climbed to about 140. And now in all my experiences, it's at least 180, 190. I'm not sure, it
Yeah.
might even be more in Toronto, but
Yeah. It's 150 to 300. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite a
Easily,
range.
and it can go up. Like some guys are. I think the guy from Chronic Ink. He's the cousin of a friend of mine. He charges $400 an hour, and he's
Wow.
booked like a couple years or 5 years in advance. I don't even know. But
Unreal.
yeah, so it's the thing is, uh, like there's people that are going to be artists that are going to be really niche, so they're
Hmm.
going to do a very specific thing, and because they do that specific thing, it's what they're famous for. And
Hmm.
um I hardly been able to stick to one thing in my
Hmm.
life. So for me to stick to one vision in my art was like uh, impossible. I really try to like stick to one style. I just cannot. And also, I don't find it practical
Hmm.
because a lot of people come with different tattoos, different bodies, different ideas, and um, I'm able to actually merge a lot of these ideas together because I've learned those different styles. And then and my father once told me, I was like, oh, I don't get it, like people are not buying my art, like I'm so talented, I can do realism, I can do impressionism, expressionism, like I'm crazy, I can do caricature, I can do cartoons, like come on, let's go, give me something, like why isn't the world responding? Like I can do like watercolor, aquarelle, pastel, oil, acrylic,
Yeah.
like carving, sculpture,
Everything.
like yeah, like I've done, and now tattooing and airbrushing and spray paint. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and then he's like, well, you know what? You have to learn different styles. You can't just do realism. You can't just do, and I used to do like very weird stuff,
Mm,
like creepy stuff almost,
mm,
because for me, art started as a therapeutic thing, just like
mm,
freestyling. Um, I believe that a lot of people are holding in a lot of pain and they need to let it out. They need to open their heart. And when you just speak from your heart and not from your mind, from all
mm.
the little classification folders we've got on everything, the politically correct and everything that must be done in a certain way because there's a certain facet of the world that we have to follow, and everything has to coincide a certain way so that we're like exactly what everybody wants to hear.
Mhm,
Then we just turn down the volume of our heart,
mm.
and if we crank it up just a little bit, then and then we let go just a little bit more, and let's say we freestyle or we take a pen and just draw whatever flows through our mind, then you can actually get into a world, and maybe it'd be weird, maybe it'll be funny, maybe it'll be cartoonish, maybe it'll be humoristic. Like I have drawings where I draw like mosquitoes, like um doing weird stuff, and then like
Yeah.
on anyways, like weird characters, and some people like it, some people don't, and I know people that love it with a passion because there's actually artists out there that have this style. It's
Mm.
just that I'll do that, but then when I do art for people, I like the realism because I love the challenge, I love the
Okay.
perfection, I love being able to do something that's so hard to do that
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Nice. When I look at your style, I don't really have any realism tattoos. My tattoos are more like the old Sailor Jerry kind of style.
Hmm.
Um,
I love those too.
yeah, I do too. But I've always wanted one of a dog I used to have, and I
Yeah,
wanted in a kind of realistic form. And I've seen your work, and I think you might be the guy for that someday. Come see you and get that.
yeah, I'm down, I'm here. Call
Right
me.
on, man. Right on. Um, you mentioned, living in Montreal, and I remember you commented a while back on social media on one of the guests I had on, Chris Dyer, who's an
Ah!
amazing artist in
Oh
Montreal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever come in contact with him or work together or do anything?
Are you kidding me? Chris Dyer is like a brother to me. It's like,
Really?
yeah, no, he's like, yeah, this guy is just like, for me, he's like one, I told him like many times because, and it's funny because I told him a few things and a lot of our conversations were so meaningful because he's just a meaningful person and such a
Yeah.
creative soul. He's he's a workaholic,
Mm.
like an artaholic. Like he basically, like I
He
cannot
cranks it out, I
understand
think.
how he materializes that much in so little time. Like
Wow.
he's just insane. And when I was in Montreal and I was kind of like, I was an artist, I wasn't famous in the most beautiful streetways you can imagine. I used to hang out with the legends of hip hop, and when I was like in that zone, my ego was so big. Like I had a huge ego, and and then I remember it went to a huge downfall because I didn't have a job. I was starving, and then
Mm.
I almost got hired by the Crips and the Bloods. It went really, really, really dark, really quick
Mm.
because I wanted to become a professional graffiti artist, and I was like, I want to do whatever it takes,
Mhm.
and not really looking for the best solutions, and it bit me in the ass because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not an angry guy. I might appear aggressive because I'm really passionate. I'm really fiery. I'm three fire signs in one, so I'm just bursting out of flames, like and but I realized that I have a family. I can't take that choice, that path. And then I did an exhibition in my little hood in Montreal, and obviously like a lot of the gangsters in the neighborhood were not like really vibing with my art, even though it was street art, and I
Mm.
was like, whatever, it's all good, but so then I really felt sad because I only had my close friends, and I kept try to keep my game tight, and that's really important in
Mm.
order to understand why I love people and why I'm like a people person,
Yeah.
hopefully, or I don't know. I think I am.
Oh, I'd
But
say you are. Yeah.
but basically, it's I was trying to keep my game tight, and keeping the game tight is not the way, because
Mm,
when you want to be an artist, when you want people to know who you are, in order for you to be somewhat successful, to please at least, you need to know like 3,000 to please like, 300 with love hearts. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. Yeah.
so it's kind of like that. It's like, and then I was in the hood. I was deprived of anything. I turned into an alcoholic. I was like, I needed my cigarette, my fix, my.
Mm,
I was like
yeah.
I felt like a crackhead. So
Yeah.
I was just like, and this guy is like popping paintings like nonstop. And then I go skateboarding with this guy. I hang out with my friend Ben, and then we're like, who's done some little movies and clips for Chris Dyers, and who's a great friend of Chris Dyers, Ben Jackson. He's
Mhm.
a movie maker, indie movie maker, and beautiful guy, journalist and photographer. So basic, and he surfs Habitat 67. He's like the guy that brought me there. I used to skateboard with this guy, street sessions. We used to drop the biggest sets in Montreal. Like, we were like hardcore street guys, like always skateboarding anything that doesn't move.
Mm.
Hopefully, the bushes, whatever, we'll jump over it. We
Wow.
were just
Yeah.
like, yeah. And so seeing that guy and hanging out with Chris Dyer and seeing how successful he was at his art, going to his place and his like little VIP parties, and hanging out with like some really famous people, I was like this guy is like, wow, like how is he doing that? And then I started picking up boards, and I like the boards symbolisms. I started doing boards and more paintings, and then he kind of motivated me, because it's almost like a fiery person, or at least myself. I get really excited when I see people being successful for things
Mhm.
that I have an interest in,
Yeah.
and it almost gives me an appetite for competition, that I
Mm.
know I am not competing with them, because there's no competition there. They're
Yeah.
successful. I'm just striving for it, but
Yeah.
it
It's like
excites
you're
me.
competing with yourself to get to that
Yes,
level. Yeah.
yes. And
I
so
can
yeah, and
relate.
then I got invited by him in Toronto later on for an exhibition where I got to skateboard. And then uh it was like this awkward moment where I told him, yeah, I spent like $10,000 and I'm still not famous. And there's like graffiti artists like Bacon, and like a lot of crazy beautiful graffiti artists that are doing like the most stunning artwork in the world. And then I'm just like, wow, and I wish I had those opportunities. So I was always like going from convenience stores to ask for murals, like, please, could I do
Mm.
this? And it was really frustrating. Like, but then he took that on as a challenge, and he started spray painting, and now he's an amazing spray painter.
Yeah.
And so you see how, like, as a creative soul he is, like, it's like anything you throw at him, he's like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And he's really good at it, and he's a good guy. Yeah.
I saw recently, I think he's painting the Castle Grayskull from the old He-Man cartoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I like his fusion with pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's
His style is like out of this world.
yeah, pop culture, spirituality, psychedelic. I just love his work. He sort of goes anywhere. I felt really pumped to have him on the show so early.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big guy. And
Yeah.
you, even his longboards, like, he's got longboards in California. He's got a brand of
Mm,
clothing, and he's doing so good for himself. Like,
yeah.
it's beautiful to see like true artists succeeding. Like, it
Yeah.
just makes me, believe in this world more.
So, what is it that provides your bread and butter? Is it tattooing, or are you doing other artwork? Or
So it's a bit of everything. So last year I pretty much had 8 to 10 jobs. So 8 jobs part time, and then 10 jobs that would fly here and there if I had the chance.
hmm,
So last year I was on the grind like crazy, and I did my taxes and I did everything, and so I was able to get some money for this like really tough time too. But
hmm,
you
yeah,
know, it was it, I always believe that if I keep my tables open for any possibility, and that came from my father, because my father opened his school, and he was he was a great businessman. So a great entrepreneur. He was successful enough to get a little retirement somehow, and and it's a tough life being an artist. Like Chris Dyer is he's a successful artist, but a lot of artists don't have the same chance, and there's crazy successful artists that may not have like 100,000 followers, like the guy that does all the faces and the paintings, in the streets of Toronto. This guy is like, he's doing murals and everything now, but you have a lot of like really talented artists that are striving, and they do it for the passion, because ultimately you want to be happy living a good life, and
Mm,
if you can make enough to live on and hopefully save for a future, then I think that's definitely your path. If you want to make money, then you're gonna have to work so hard that you will literally like you will not sleep over it,
mhm,
literally, like I've done. And even to sometimes, because I find the winter to get depressing for a lot of people in Toronto and Ontario and so on. And and surfing is definitely a counterbalance to that, because you get in the water and you're like, "Woo, I'm alive!"
yeah.
uh, so being being able to I don't know where I was getting at, honestly. I think I lost track.
No, but you just gave me an idea. Like my regular day job, I'm a mental health worker or an outreach worker. So maybe I need to
Beautiful.
start taking my clients and dunking them in the water, take them winter surfing.
Yeah, yeah.
It honestly would be very therapeutic, but I couldn't imagine the insurance and paperwork for something like that.
Yeah, that's the yeah, that's the other side of the reality. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's the dream, and then there's the is that the reality?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
sometimes they combine.
But essentially, though, for myself, teaching paddleboarding and a bit of surfing, that's what it is. It's not necessarily listed as mental health work, but I love
Yeah.
doing those things to
Oh,
provide people with that experience that, for guys like you and me, we know exactly how rewarding it is. Um,
yes.
it always blows my mind to think, but I hear your story and being around the water, being in the water, it's very normal for you. It's something that you grew up with. Same thing with me. But
Hmm.
there are many, many people who did not have that experience. And so they, 40 years old and they're kind of afraid of the water, or they get on a stand up paddleboard, they start freaking out and, run into the rocks. Like it's not a
Yeah.
common thing for everybody. So
Yeah.
it is very transforming. And I've seen people go from very little experience to getting on a paddleboard or a surfboard for the first time. And it's like game changing, life changing.
Yeah.
It's like, they talk about when you, born again Christians, it's like accepting, like the Holy Spirit comes on you. That's what it is. It's like the stoke pours into your
Benediction.
soul. Yeah, yeah,
Saint
yeah.
Benedict is giving you the gift of the gods.
Yeah, the gift of stoke.
The gift of Stoke. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So man,
Of the wind.
I know you kind of forgot your thought, but
Mm.
before we wrap up here, there's just a couple more things I gotta know about, man. You gotta tell me a little bit about the stuntman thing,
Mm.
and also tell us about the freestyling.
So, well, the freestyling was something that I started when I was 15, and I was watching 8 Miles, and everything was like I had to reorganize my mind like tiles. I didn't want to let go out of everything, because there's many callings, but you have to do what you love in life, and it was a way to express everything. So I wanted to go beyond and above in bliss. So everything means something. Since once I was a kid, I was like, I love poetry, and I used to write poems to like girls I loved, and and beautiful poems. I wish I still had that agenda.
Mm,
Um, but basically, that's how it started. When I was 15, and then I kept going, and then I did freestyle battles. Then I met hip hop artists, underground rap, gangsta underground rap. Um, then I got to ciphers, hip hop ciphers underground, more hip hop ciphers. Then I kind of let down. Then I got back to it. Then whenever there was somebody freestyling, I would freestyle with them. And then I started doing like freestyle at shows in little cafes in Toronto again. And yeah, that's basically for the rap. I got the chance to meet a lot of hip hop artists from Toronto and Montreal and other places and Paris. My cousin also is a rapper from Warfare crew um, in France. So that was always part of it. And when I used to do graffiti, I used to hang up with MCs and
Mm.
DJs and people smoking a lot of blunts. And so it was always like a cool thing, and I was bathed in that culture. Like I was basically like a VJ a little bit because I was
Mm.
DJing at some point. I was MCing, breakdancing. I was a cool teenager, to be
Yeah.
like I was hanging out with the black kids. I was like, yo, this is happening. And yeah, so that was my, that was something that I really loved from the beginning. And I sometimes refute it. And then I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's in me. It's in my roots now. It's just
Yeah.
like it's carved in.
You are a walking, talking expression, man.
Yes.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
shortage of finding ways to express yourself. It sounds like I love it.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
for the stunt, I did when I was doing a lot of graffiti. I used to climb on buildings. I hanged off
Mm.
bridges with one hand, multiple bridges in the GTA and in Montreal. I used to do like stunts myself. So I was basically a ninja before I had the ninja training. Um,
Okay.
and I jumped off 2 story buildings because they were calling on me beside a highway, landed on gravel, carved in my knee.
Wow.
I jumped on trains, rolling, learned how to hop on trains rolling at full speed. Not the
Oh my.
fast ones, but
Yeah, yeah.
the ones that go all across, I guess, to
Is
not
this for
mention.
film and TV
No,
or
no,
okay?
that's just for fun. So
Oh.
I did some stunt training with Stunt Stage, and then I got in contact with a lot of friends that did stunts, and so I train whenever I get a chance, and then basically that's just I've been pushing towards it. I've only been hired for special skills, but maybe one day they'll hire me for something. I do juggle with fire and bow
Of
staff.
course you do.
Yes. I spat out fire once just to try it, and I was like, wow, it's not that hard, but it looks
No?
sketchy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like Gene Simmons from Kiss, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So, dude, I usually ask the question, what else gets you stoked? But I think that question is irrelevant. I
Yeah.
mean, you are stoked for life, man. You're freaking doing everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really stoked that I can actually like surf. And when I was a kid in Paris, I used to buy a Surfers magazine
Mhm.
and have the big posters of Maui waves. And honestly, I used to look at those waves and imagine myself going down them.
Mm.
And my whole life I was fascinated with big waves, and I had this passion even when I was surfing in Lake Ontario. I used to go like deeper into the lake. I actually swam from the middle of the lake without a
Mm.
board once in a storm because I got caught out by my kite, and
Wow.
swam all the way back with a wetsuit, sweating
Oh, wow.
in a storm
Scary.
in the fall. Yeah, the cops, everybody was waiting for me, the fire trucks. They're like, "Oh, you want us to help you?" And I was like, "No, I'm already there, bro. I swam the whole lake. What's going on?" But yeah,
That kind of stuff is what makes you, though. I mean, those experiences,
yeah,
that shapes a person.
yeah, I got a tattoo here. This is the Fujin. So
Okay.
it's basically the god of the wind.
Oh, okay.
which is a
Yeah.
demon. Yeah,
Wow,
and
he had his grips on you that day, man.
yeah, so he's holding a parachute, and he's
Okay.
basically the one that controls the wind. And then
Wow.
this is my spiritual journey. The Buddha, the
Mm.
temple is my body,
Yeah.
and in a waterfall with the lion falling. This is Ariel, my middle name.
Oh,
So
love
basically,
it.
it's the fallen angel, and I felt like when I was a kid, I was just bathed into hell straight up, and then
Mm.
I was supposed to raise from hell to go to heaven. That was how I felt like from the beginning. So that's why there was a lot of suffering, and I almost embraced that as if it was
Mm.
like something that I was supposed to go through, I guess. And even when you go surfing, it's kind of like that. You get in the water, everything is really cold, and you feel that, and it's great and revitalizing. But also, you're in the water, you can move. It's like a swimming pool that's so big. It's not like your bathtub where you just like there's two walls in between. Like it's freedom,
Yeah.
and the search for freedom, I think, is the biggest stoke in life. If you can have
Mm.
that, if you can feel freedom to
Yeah.
be able to be out there and experience the limitless love that you can expand, then that's a true calling. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man. Amazing. Love it. Hey,
Yeah.
I know I'm going backwards here a little bit, but I got
Yes.
to ask you about Paris. Now,
Hmm.
I've never been overseas. Of course, I really want to. I especially want to go to France because of my own French heritage. I
Yes,
really
sir.
want to check that out.
C'est par
But
ici. Allez, on y va.
yeah, but you know, a lot of people they actually say that they talk about Paris like it's a complete dump hole. And it's like, what are you talking about? So I've heard this sort of, it sounds like there's a real yin and yang there in Paris. Like there's sort of must be multiple sides to that place because you
Yeah, of
see it in movies. It's so beautiful and it's so rich. And I think
course.
it was these guys I met, and they told me, oh, if you were in Paris and you took out your cell phone and you were looking at it like this, you know, people would just come and take it and smash it on the ground. And,
Yeah. Well, it's honestly, there's. Is it okay if I smoke
oh
a
yeah,
little?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let it rip.
So okay, cool. Oh yeah, it's legalized here.
Yeah, man, all about expression for sure.
True. So basically, last time I went, I I have this fear of going to sleep, so I can't go to sleep. Like I need to my day needs to be full because I have so much energy that um, I will literally like drive through a wall, um, just with my body. Like it's so basically, you know, at 5 a.m. I still couldn't sleep, and I'm like, man, like I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Like what's going on? Like I'm trying to sleep, and then I'm like, you know what? And I didn't exercise for like a week, and because I exercise, I surf in the lakes, and it's like intense at Ashbridge Bay when you get pounded by by the East
Yeah,
winds. You're seeing 1 meter point 5 and you want to get to that back barrel behind by Pinot, and there's
yeah,
no way to get there because the whitewash is just murdering you
yeah,
because you
yeah.
get tossed brain freeze. You're like, ah! Your hair is in your face, you don't even know where your board is, it's
Yeah.
like beautiful.
I can
But
identify with all of that except for the hair part.
yeah. Well, soon. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, maybe the beard. Okay, you're right. Yeah.
um but yeah, so then I went out for a run, and 5 a.m. I went by Barbès Rochechouart, Pigalle, Moulin Rouge, Place de Clichy. So uh, reverse out all those spots, and then that's basically the trajectory I had on the way in, but that was the one on the way out. And you see all these people, and the thing is, there's a lot of alcoholism
Mm,
because weed is not legal. There's the cops are a little intense
mm,
in Paris. There's some that are really intense and some that are just not respected at all. At
okay.
least that was in the past, but
Yeah.
now it's more hardcore. And yeah, and there's so it smelled like piss, like
Mm.
everywhere. It was like horrible. Like I was running, like I was like almost, I felt like I wanted. And then there was like barf everywhere. It was like, oh my god. and
Yeah.
and then you go
Gross.
to the Sacre Coeur, and then you have, like, I went with my girl, and then there's these gangsters like pointing laser at you, and there's a prostitute at the top, and then they're like drug dealing here, and then they're like beating up another guy on the side, and then all of a sudden I'm like, babe, just keep walking, don't even look at them, because you look at them, that's it, it's something's gonna start.
Uh-oh,
and,
yeah.
and then I was like, oh boy, and then we walk out and we see like a whole truck full of, we call CRS. I'm not gonna say the joke that goes with it, but
Okay.
but basically they just arrive, and then the truck pulls out, and you see all these like monkey warriors pulling out with guns and like batons, and they're
Wow.
like, ah, and they like start taking all these gangsters, and I'm like, oh my god, we just ran away from all of that. Yeah, but otherwise Paris is the most beautiful place for
Yeah.
monuments, for culture. If you want to learn about arts, Paris, I'm
Okay.
100% telling you. Musée du Louvre, Musée
Yeah.
d'Orsay. You have to do the whole La Seine. La Seine is kind of polluted, but they're trying to clean it up. So especially the Canal Saint-Martin has been cleaned up. Um, you have to go to Parc de la Villette. It's beautiful. It's a huge park. You'll be walking for a while. You can take a bike and ride it through the park. Uh, and they also have like the Uber bikes, electric bikes, all kinds of like scooters that they leave everywhere. So hopefully those things will still be there when you guys go, because they're trying to ban those.
Mm.
But it's like awesome. You can travel through Paris on like electric scooter. I hope they bring those in Toronto.
Mm.
And you can, and it's way cheaper than Montreal. Montreal, the prices
Mm.
are insane. Like it's twice or three times more expensive than in Paris, just so you know.
Wow. Yeah.
And and yeah, and then you can go to the Eiffel Tower, Champ de Mars, Trocadero, Palais de Tokyo. It's also a museum. There's tons of museums. There's museums everywhere. There used to be Notre Dame. Now
Mm.
it got kind of, tormented. And yeah, so basically, Le Sacré-Cœur, go during the day, don't go at night, because it's a hangout spot. We used to hang out with our friends and smoke pot and drink booze.
Mm.
And now I guess it's the bigger dogs that are barking at the top. So you got to watch out in certain times at night. And yeah, if you don't feel something, don't go there. Go to places where there's a lot of people. It's better. Close your pockets, because there's pickpockets. Don't talk to people that want to hand you out things, because they will get you into a loop of different stuff. That's how you stay safe in Paris for the most part. Don't have any flashy things that you can show off, because it's not Toronto where you can walk, with three gold chains, even though you're not like thugged out. But
Yeah.
you
Wow.
know, otherwise
Okay.
you have to carry your own weight and be ready for for some spicy adventure. But it's
Yeah.
if you stay genuinely cool and you don't show fear, you should be good. And you have to be just a cool person also. Like, you know, I mean, it depends on your level of confidence, physically
Yeah.
also, then you can hang out with anybody out there. Um,
So what I'm gathering is don't go to Paris and cosplay as Mr. T, and don't go down piss in Barf Alley.
yeah,
Oh, right on, man.
yeah. So it's a lot of that, but um, you have to understand Paris has a culture, like the art is insane. Like Le Musée du Louvre will take you 3 days to visit if
Mm.
you're running.
Wow.
So it's a huge place for arts. Anybody that's interested in like discovering like the art of the century of the lights and all these guys, like from those times and so on, you will see a lot. You will learn a lot. Also, France is a beautiful country. There's not only just Paris. We have hundreds of castles. We have counties and places where they have different wines, different cheese.
Mm.
There's a cheese map of France. There's different breads. There's different pastries. The culinary taste is like out of this world. We
Mm-hmm.
take a lot of pride in agriculture and sane agriculture, if I may say. So it's nothing like GMO. GMO is like banned in
Mm.
France. If it is, then it's announced in the ingredients, contrarily to Canada. Um,
Nice.
so they take pride in that, and they will fight for that, and they're still fighting for that because people with money will do anything to crush
Yeah.
the little specks on the way.
Yeah, man.
Phew.
Right on.
Yeah, just like waves philosophy.
Yeah, love it. So, dude, we're wrapping up here, but hey, man, where can people connect with you online?
So by Facebook, YouTube, I reply to all the comments. I try to stay, in the loop with everyone because I get a lot of people messaging me on Facebook. Yannick Torres, you will see me. I got long hair, you can't miss me. And then otherwise, if you want to check my art, you can go on bees as the bees, bees art on one word, bees art
Okay.
on, and with an S and two E's, and then basically that's where I post a lot of my art. I try to show mostly the bigger pieces now because I really want to show people that this is an art and that's that. Yeah.
Right on. So, dude, before we go, you got the stage, you got the mic.
hmm
Do you got one final message you want to put out there to the world?
Final message.
Anything you want to say?
I have one, and I think it's a true Canadian one, and it's
Okay.
basically, like we live in a multicultural country, and I find it's the most beautiful country for one thing is the fact that we have people from all around the world, and we should definitely embrace our differences. We can learn
Yeah.
from each other cultures, so it's never be scared to share, your philosophies and ways to perceive. One person might learn a lot from another person. And I want to encourage people to actually socialize, especially during COVID. It's very easy to be distant and fearful, and that fear is definitely something that will eat our mind and eat our opportunities sometimes. So if you have a chance to love and trust people, and I always say you got to trust people no matter what, and always keep an eye out, but make sure you trust them because it's really important to give that feeling of trust. If because some people may feel certain things. So, you know, and yeah, that's it. This like Toronto's amazing, man. We have like the Great Lakes. We got these three lakes like right beside each other. If you go up north, you got even Montreal River. We've got a lot of spots, and yeah, I want everybody to just enjoy the water whenever there's a chance. You have to go, and you don't know how good you're gonna feel until you get in the water, and that's a
Yeah.
treat.
Well, hey, I was surfing in Oshawa on Boxing Day. Didn't see you there. I saw Gordon Grover was there and Larry was there.
Oh, I was there. I was there.
Yeah, you must not have been there when I was there. Julio was there.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe that was
Yeah,
the day I wasn't there, I guess.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but yeah, I thought we almost kind of met, but right now we're in the red zone. But yeah, man, once things kind of calm down or if some good surfing comes up, I look forward to meeting you in person, man, and hanging out in Toronto and catching some waves together.
Yeah, I'm down. Well, if there's some waves at Woodbine Beach, sometimes I post on Toronto Surf and I'm like, wow, Woodbine Beach is firing, let's go.
Yeah,
Because like I'm there to see it, so I always feel like it's my responsibility. And
right
there's
on.
some big waves in the back. Yeah, like
Nice.
I have some pictures where you see a subboarder and the wave is a meter on top of his head and he's
Wow.
passing and he's got the stick like this and he's still not touching the top of the wave. And I'm on top of
Wow.
there and I see that drop and there's a sandbar at the back.
Yeah.
Don't tell the locals.
No. You can't surf. You can't surf the Great Lakes, man. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah, I know. It's crazy. The
Hey.
waves are real on the Great Lakes. And bro, it's nice to meet another guy who is permastoked, man.
Yes. And
That's
don't
why
be
you're
afraid
on
of
the
the shore
show.
break. The shore break is also good. Sometimes right at the shore, there's these little spots where you'll find these little wedgy wave. Like take a look at the beach. Sometimes people go to the same spot where everybody goes, but take a look because usually like I'm not in the pictures because I'm that one guy that found that one wave on the side.
Okay, you're on the peripheral. Gotcha.
Yes.
Right on, man. All right, Yanni, man, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. It's been inspirational. It's been legendary. I'm feeling uplifted, bro. And yeah, man, we'll have to hang out and
Yeah.
stay safe out there in the red zone, dude.
Yeah, literally like social distance. I got the mask. I do it all. I hand sanitize. I keep my distance. My bubble
Yeah.
is like tight,
Are you
as I
still
mentioned.
tattooing during COVID or probably
Uh,
not during this lockdown portion?
yeah, no, it's like
Yeah.
it's we gotta stay safe, right? So I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot
Okay.
of like art. I've done paintings for birthday, Christmas, sketches for people, and then I got lucky to be on a show, the Apple TV show, the main one. I'm not supposed to say
Okay.
the name,
All
so
right. We'll wait.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right on,
So
dude.
there we go.
Nice. Yannick, I'll
Yes.
talk to you later, bro. But for now, stay stoked.
All right, Permastoked always. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.